For the moms and dads out there, we had Dr. Patrick Porter on a couple shows ago, and we thought we coined the term gamer's brain. We didn't. It's been around a long
No,
time.
no.
Okay, so scratch that. But what we did talk about was, and I was fascinated with, we've been preaching about, hey, get a brain map, a QEEG if your kids play football, so you get a baseline to compare it to. But what we talked about on that show is the actual electronic games do more damage to your brain than the actual physical sport. What's your take on that, Dr. Murray?
Well, it can. Okay, and this is where I kind of talk about epigenetics, and this is where, earlier I talked about, be really careful about research by vested interest. Okay, there are individuals out there that can game 5 to 8 hours a day and be okay. They're extremely rare. Okay, the analogies I always use when talking with parents or lay people in general are those of alcohol, because everybody understands them. So I'm going to just go into my spiel and my story. So everybody knows that one person who can down half a bottle of scotch, they do not slur their speech, they don't wobble all over the place. I do not recommend that they sign any legal contracts or drive a car, but to everybody else, they seem okay. In contrast, everybody knows that one person that has that half glass of 7% Vino Verde and they're absolutely loopy. It's the exact same substance on the brain. It's how we metabolize it. If I want to get into real genetics, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to rattle it off. I mean, I can talk and be completely un-PC because I belong to one of the groups as a natural redhead. Okay. But so the un-PC version is a Chinese man and an Irish woman walk into a bar. Who gets drunk? Okay, so there actually are specific alleles and codes that we can look. So 65% of female redheads carry a certain gene that makes the body metabolize alcohol slower. Okay, or is it faster? I forget. Sorry, but essentially you don't feel it as much. Versus 1/3 of individuals of Asian descent, alcohol is just an absolute poison. There's none of the positives of euphoria or giddiness, etc. Okay, so that, and I'm sorry I can't rattle off these genes. I'm not as quick as Jay on that, but I actually wrote a mini paper on it. I called it the redhead receptor. Okay, so that's that component. A third example is let's just say everybody gets a little bit loopy. It's a nice happy party, okay? And you have your real happy person dancing on tables. You have your weepy person in the corner just crying away about their mother or their boyfriend. And then you have that angry, dangerous drunk who wants to get into a fight. Again, it's the same substance. Okay, so I use those examples, and it's the exact same thing with our eye technology. Okay, so you need to know your epigenetics. You need to be very aware and not in denial in terms of what it's doing to you. Okay, if you're on screens up to 11 p.m. and oh geez, I can't sleep, well, you know it's associated with insomnia for you. Okay, you can put all kinds of screens and films on this, that, and the other. For some people, none of that works. Other people can look at their phone and off they go. But they're not the majority. So what I say to all parents is your parental gut, if your child acts differently when you ask them to disengage from a game, okay, or from a screen that's not scholastic, okay, and they tantrum more than they would if you ask them to stop any other activity, whether it's swinging on a swing, if they're a reader, it's reading, or playing with their little toys. That is a sign of emotional deregulation. Period.